Arel. Budke. Gleva.
Present.
Holt.
Here.
Matson. Reichert.
Here.
Sandy. Here. Wasvik.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, reading and approval of the minutes from September 3rd, 2025 meeting. Mr. Reichert?
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Reichert,
Second.
second by Ms. Arel. Any further discussions? Not seeing any hands. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved as submitted. Public hearings, final approvals, petitions, and minor changes. Mr. Brooks.
Item 3.1, determination of fitting and compatible use, Ideal Aerosmith, located at 3001 South Washington Street.
Mr. Brooks.
Thank you. So commissioners, as we discussed this one last month, if you remember, we discussed going through the rezoning process potentially on this site. At that time, the thought was, let's not go that route. Let's instead go to a fitting and compatible. That is a planning and zoning commission decision. Typically would not be advertised, mailings, those types of things. You asked us to do that, and that has been done. I received 2 calls leading into this, and I think I've included those in as part of the staff report. There was one who's directly adjacent. They did were in support. They did ask, you know, what exactly is this going to entail? And so I did walk them through. I think they appreciated being notified, so I do want to bring that up. But they were in support of the project, and they said actually there was one reason that they needed to call them, and it was corrected right away. So they said that they've been good neighbors. There's another one a little bit further away, asked the question, you know, what exactly is this? Ideal Aerosmith's already there, and I think that was more of a confusion, and I explained what was going on, and they said no issues, thank you as well. So there may be others that are here tonight. It's not an official public hearing, but just so you're aware. With that, I'll kind of get through again some of the things that are being done on that site. So there's drone design, engineering, manufacturing, and I think motion systems was another piece that, you know, there's, you know, what are drones? It could be lots of things, so motion systems as well. And probably instead of manufacturing, even assembly would be a little bit closer. And the thing is, and I've been through their setup there, it's very quiet, quiet enough that, as I said, some of the rooms, which were very expansive, you could almost hear conversations if I wasn't having my own conversation, I think I would have heard one across the way. It's not typical industrial manufacturing. And I do want to stress that I think these things are going to be drone type setups like this. Potential, we may have more in the future. There are some things going on that are just going to expand like this. I'm not too sure all of them are appropriate in a full industrial zone. They could certainly be there, but in this case, I think workers sometimes want to be closer to more commercial corridors as well, and we are opening up some commercial spaces as well. So with that, since we kind of covered this last month as well, I'll pause there if there's any other questions. Thanks.
All right, any questions for Mr. Brooks before we do open the public hearing?
Question.
Ms. Sandy?
Don't they have a purchase agreement on land in the industrial park?
There is a purchase agreement drafted that we have now received for industrial park land. If we continue on with that, then there may be a plat in front of you in a month or two's time to replat a piece of property that's 25 acres down to 15 acres.
Okay, and that's to do what they're asking to do?
I probably have to leave that for them to answer, that I do think that potentially all of this could fit into that in the future, but I think they're trying in the meantime they have current contracts that they're trying to complete as well, as I understand it, but.
I'm just still not comfortable with, it's just kind of a workaround when it really doesn't belong, so I'm not gonna be supporting it, but
Ms. Sandy? Okay, anything else before I open the public hearing? Okay, so we'll open the public hearing. Anybody in the audience like to step up and address 3-1, please do so at this time. Seeing nobody, we'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to the commission. Mr. Reichert?
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Reichert,
Second.
second by Mr. Budke. Further discussion? I guess I just like to say I'd like to see it go out in industrial park, since they're not a retail space on that stretch, would be really nice to see at some point, so if they are working land out, work land out. That was my comment, so nothing else, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion 3-1 carries.
Steve, your mic too.
Usually loud enough where I don't need it, but here we go.
It's for those at home.
Okay, all right, 3-2.
Item 3-2, appeal to corridor overlay district requirements located at 2701 North Washington Street.
Mr. Brooks.
Thank you. I will kind of orient everybody. So this is North Washington's up here. Here's 27th Avenue North. This is in the process of kind of being updated. We got a lot of city utilities going on. There's a recent annexation about 2021 or 22 timeframe out in this area. And they did do a small expansion out in front of their site. This is the FedEx ground, I believe, is who's currently operating out of there. Their request today is, as you see here, they're proposing some additional concrete. I think they would have loved to come across and match up with some of this other new pavement here. We've kind of said we've held the line with others out here just at the property line. It's a bit unusual. It is on a corridor overlay. We usually, when we hear corridor overlay, a lot of us think about the building material requirements that we had. There were also some parking and site requirements as well. So with that, I thought it was more appropriate to bring it to this board to discuss an appeal, as opposed to like Board of Adjustments, where paving up to a property line would normally have gone to. So with that, we are recommending approval at going up to the property line. I think they'll continue to use some of this connecting on the existing gravel that's there, but we wouldn't allow it to be improved beyond that point. Again, we did notices here. I just heard from somebody else just asking for more information on what was going on there, but I didn't hear any specific requests for denial on this project, but just mostly questions that people ask when we send out those notices. So
Okay.
I did answer that question.
All right, any questions from Mr. Brooks before I open the public hearing? Mr. Mattson?
So you mentioned 27th Avenue North is getting utility work done. Is that going to be getting paved as part of these improvements too, or not?
Yeah, there's some, this paving will go, 27th Avenue North will be paved all the way over to 42nd. I think it's paved a little off of 42nd now.
Okay.
But Agristo is going to go to the west of this, and that is part of all that project. So all those utilities, the water, sewer, all of those things that are serving this area now have all been started as far back as the previous Fufeng project. That was when it was, those utilities were started, and now that project's being picked up by Agristo moving forward.
So we'd be looking pavement to pavement, I guess.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? Not seeing any, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody in the audience want to step up and address 3-2, please do so. Not seeing anybody, close the public hearing, bring it back to commission. Mr. Reichert?
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Reichert. Second by Mr. Kleva. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 3-2 passes unanimously. 3-3.
Item 3-3, plat of Burkholz 8th Edition located at 1800 block of South 42nd Street with street and highway ordinance dedication.
Mr. Brooks again.
Thank you. I think I'll move down to the plat just because it's, hopefully everybody has a good Hopefully that shows up well on your guys' screen.
Do you want to talk about both of them and break them up later?
Sure, if I could, Chair, that would be best.
I think you guys are okay with that, just talk about the
Yeah.
whole package and then we'll break it up.
And I'm going to recuse myself from both of these.
Move approval.
Moved? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
You're out, Mr. Reichert.
I assume that was for the recusal and not for the project.
It's for the recusal.
So otherwise, this could be a lot shorter meeting if you're.
You did. All right, Mr. Brooks?
Thank you. So, talk a little bit about timeframe. So I think the last time we were before you was in May. This is a fairly large plat and lots of things going on here. So it's taken us a little bit of iterations going through this. We've had a traffic study done. We've also done a sanitary sewer analysis. And when I say we, I've just received them. It's been mostly engineering that's done most of that work with some hired consultants to assist. So the first one I'll bring up, since I brought it up, was the sanitary sewer analysis that's really tied to the PUD. That was a late add addition to the PUD document, but it really gets into in terms of the capacity analysis for this area, looking at, if you remember, we went through some iterations, but this lot 2 here would be 30 units an acre is what we'd be looking at for that. And the back half, this is, well, the number of lots are there, right? There's 22 lots along this backside, along the coulee. And then we have a commercial piece here as well. So some of that memo will get into, there could be some high users on that commercial lot that they also need to be aware of, to be cautious of, just due to the what the capacity is for sanitary sewer. If there's more questions on that, I would please ask you to direct those towards Mr. Grasser, who's in attendance as well on that, but that's just the high level piece. Other than I will say that analysis did take into account the existing other vacant properties that we still have in this area, including just to the south here that could be redeveloped, as well as some of the open land like on Valley 4000 and then on the west side of 42nd. So the additional pieces, right-of-way access was discussed. Since we last met, we have connected where Armstrong Court comes across and connects. That's going to be directly across from, maybe it's even shown here. Yeah, directly across from the access into Dakota Dental, which is right to the north of this site. And we really, if you remember, right, we wanted those to line up. Just it helps the queuing with lefts in to the site, and perhaps a left that would turn into Dakota Dental. If you have those offset, then those start to back into each other, and we have problems. So it did. I think it adjusted the size of the commercial lot and probably took out one of the single family potentially. Some of the additional pieces, the access here, we're looking at more of a right-in, right-out type of situation as we get into South 42nd at what I'll say is the equivalent of 18th Avenue South. And that has some, I think we talked about this a little bit last time, we're going to end up with the left turn situation, queues that back into each other along South 42nd into the site here and what would be into the Children's Museum site as we head north to a westbound at 17th. Additionally, we did leave an opening for the future here, a 3/4 opening here, which would match what we see potential on this undeveloped site on the west side of 42nd. So looking to match those up as well. And we, with no other information, really just said a center mass type of access in on this site. That allows them to do cul-de-sac as they go to the west. The additional pieces, right away, I think there was a smaller right away in Armstrong Court. That's now back up to 80 feet, all the way up to 15th here. This street was also in as right-of-way at that time. Now, with the right in, right out, I think what you would be looking at is entering into a parking lot that would be connected, but not necessarily the same parking lot. So if this is a commercial parking lot, you could get into this parking lot, or you could come over to the multifamily as well. So that which would be on the south side of that. The additional pieces, park dedication, I think we discussed last time. The park dedication piece, we did have a park dedication meeting. Your representative on that is Mr. Wasvik. There's also President of the Council, Dana Sandy's on that, as well as Park District Rep.
Did we ever get a final determination of what that was?
Yeah, we put that out there. I think we went with the total amount, $18,000 an acre. So they did a payment in lieu as opposed to a park on that backside. So that was the final piece on that. And I think we have in there that Park District did approve that back in July, is what our notes have on here. I think the access piece, there's quite a few pieces on this. I think the last thing I want to mention was the bike ped situation. So on South 38th Street, I think about a year ago, we had a request to vacate over here. There was an existing sidewalk that led over into this location here. We allowed them to remove that, but then retained the easement, because at that time we weren't sure what was going to go on over here. That ability still exists to connect that. I think they'll tell you they'll definitely change up how they would run these lots. So I didn't necessarily ask them to change all those, but I think there is a potential to put that in, maybe stealing from this lot 17 and having like a sidewalk connect across.
But we did remove the other one to the east, right?
We retained that last year at this time. We allowed them to remove the sidewalk, but we retained the easement.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's where we got in trouble here last month, was it?
This one is separate, so that one's down on Bethesda here. We did remove that, that's to the south here.
Right, but we removed the concrete, but we left the easement
Correct.
going east, correct?
Correct, that is correct.
And then, so now we're gonna.
The
we
question
did it
is,
again.
is there still an
didn't do it.
intent, is there still intent to have a bridge, a pedestrian bridge, not a full bikeway path bridge, but a pedestrian bridge connect the west to the east here? The only connection between the west side of this neighborhood to the east would be to go up to 17th or go to 24th. So yeah, that is a fairly large piece. We were looking for a connection, and I would be remiss if I did not at least bring that up as a planner to say, let's have a discussion of whether or not that's intended to stay, as opposed to just not have that conversation, especially considering a year ago, we did decide to retain that. So I think that would be the big piece, at least from this perspective, my perspective right now, that I wanted to bring. Those are the notes I wanted to talk about tonight, and then certainly able to answer any other questions that you may have.
Miss Sandy.
We did get rid of the other path, though, correct? The one
Bethesda
that's-
is this one here,
Yeah, no, I know that
and the
one.
other ones, yep.
There was another one that was north of the number one. That was up by the curve, probably behind block
Yep.
2.
Yep, right here, there is a sidewalk utility easement.
Yeah.
I think there was one here, there's one here, and then I think,
There was one down there, yeah.
yeah, there's one or maybe even two. I was only focused on one, having one be a connection, not every one of them.
Sure. And you said it's not for bicycles?
It would be more of a sidewalk is what I would be looking at.
And a bridge.
Yeah, there would need to be a bridge, so there'd need to be something to go over.
So it would only be if people wanted to walk.
Well, I guess it would be I mean, could somebody bike across it? Yeah, just like a sidewalk. It would be sidewalk width is probably a better way for me to describe it. It wouldn't be connected to a bike path piece, but there would be pedestrian connections across.
When would that go in? Because
Well-
I've been pretty vocal that I like those, if they do have to go in, that they should go in before the lots are sold, because if I'm buying 17 or 18, I'm not gonna be very happy about that in 20 years when I'm,
Yeah, and you
Told
probably
us to
will
go
hear
in.
from those on the east at this point, right? too,
Yeah.
As well.
does the developer want that? Or
Oh, I
prefer
don't
to
think
not?
so, but I don't want to answer. I don't want to answer for them. I hopefully let them.
Okay, any other questions? I'm with you.
Oh, I had
on
one
that.
other question.
Yes, please.
So are you saying the sanitation, that's okay?
Sanitary sewer.
Yeah.
With the amount being requested here now, it is, yes, we have the capacity to serve those.
Okay.
Is that the best way to phrase that? Yeah.
Mr. Grasser's got her covered.
It-
Okay.
We have done analysis. There is, the acceptable piece. I will say where that is over at the Veterans Park is where that lift station
Oh,
is. So
sure.
it connects, it comes down 42nd and then around on 24th.
Okay.
I have a question. When's the timing of 42nd getting wider and going south? What is the timing of that?
I don't know if we have one right now. That's really going to be dependent as development goes.
Evening, members of the commission. I should back up a little bit. On 24th Avenue, we identify, on the pump station, we did identify that should be something for further study relative to the capacity of the pump station. The first study that we did, that actually a consultant did for us, was really looking at just the capacity of the pipe itself. Sanitary sewer is a combination of the pipes to get it to the pump station, then the pump station with the pumps, and then the force main to get it back out. And we're going to take a look at that. Again, some of that depends on the density of the development. That's kind of what I tried to summarize in my memo. So I don't want to give an unequivocal that, yeah, we've got capacity. We certainly have capacity now. As the area starts to develop, that might become more of an issue, so.
No, sounds good. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Grasser?
Is there a holding pond? There's no park, but is there a water retention?
I'll step in for Ryan if that's okay. I think that Lot 3 there is actually intended to be the stormwater holding pond, and that would end up being a regional pond. It would, the lot and the pond would be dedicated to the city. We take it over after it's all built, and then we'd operate it and maintain it.
The residential lot 3?
I'm sorry, Lot 3 on the south side of, or west side of Armstrong Court.
Yeah.
Do we have this one right here?
Oh, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, sorry.
sorry. Got it. Okay.
I was focusing on one, forgetting there's more than one Lot 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions for Mr. Grasser? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, well, any other questions for Mr. Brooks on this one before I open the public hearing? Not seeing any, I will open the public hearing. Anybody in the audience would like to address 3-3, we better start with that one. Do so at this time. Please just state your name and address for the record.
Keith Dank, 717 Reeves Drive, Grand Forks, North Dakota. I think it's a great development. It shows a lot of insight to use Cooley property, and I think that the developer will do a great job. I have an interest in the 15 acres immediately to the west of the parcel, kind of right through there. So as things develop there, I have no idea what might develop there, but I think there it's enough of a stacking distance from my perspective, at least without doing a traffic study, that might be a good place to have a crossover for both northbound and southbound traffic on 42nd. It's a good separation from 17th and the stoplight, so that's my 2 cents worth. I think it looks great, so.
No, thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it. Anybody else like to step up and address 3.3? Not seeing anybody, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission.
Move approval.
Moved by Ms. Sandy,
Second?
second by Mr. Mattson. Any further discussion? I was waiting for it. Mr. Budke.
Yeah, I guess, first of all, I think we've talked in the past about the challenges with this particular site, both between the coulee, right, like the natural topography and drainage that's there now, and then we overlay that with our own street network and the access control. So I recognize there's some challenges there. Still, I have some frustration with this particular plat, and then how that combines with some of the other actions in the same vicinity that this commission has taken. I'll just point out, it's a mile from 17th to 24th. The only way to get from the neighborhood east of the coulee to parts west is to go well out of your way. So I think we've talked a lot already tonight about vehicular access. I think over the summer, we've actually made the bike and pedestrian situation significantly worse. Pretty remarkable considering we're talking about a farm field being developed. But in the past, decades in the past, we had past planners put easements in place, trying to do right by the future residents here, and I think we've turned our back on that. So I'm a no on this.
Go ahead.
Quick question. So at what point are we then approving leaving that access over the coulee? That bike path or the sidewalk? Or,
Right now, it's not in there. I'm asking
It's a plat the
for,
way it is, right?
yeah,
Okay.
it would need to be amended to get in between 17 and 18 right now.
so the
No.
way that the motion I made, oh,
Sorry, I'll just clarify. We do have a tech change on the last page that required, or is stating that we're requiring it to go in, which would follow our land use plan recommendations. So you would need to make a motion to remove that tech change because the staff recommendation is recommendation subject to terms and conditions. We have that as one of the terms and conditions right now. So you would need to amend that out.
so then I'd like to change my motion and take that out.
Okay. The second, did we,
Who seconded?
I would have,
You want it in? Okay, well then, I'd like to amend that, or I don't know how I need to do it, but I'd like that to go in before the lots are sold.
Make a motion to amend your motion.
Does that, do I need to make that in a motion, or how does that?
I don't know how we could,
yeah, you could require it.
I'm trying to think of how you could require it when we haven't really seen any of the rest of it.
You can amend your motion to require it to be installed prior. Like in past, we've required fences to be installed prior to a development selling or something like that. It would be similar to that. It does put the burden then probably on the developer to fund that, because we can't guarantee the city would have money to do that. Or, I don't know, I really wish our Roberts Rules guys was here.
So
Yeah, I think you could do that. I think.
I just want to know, maybe I'll stick up for Mr. Budke here, but we removed the concrete on the one spot. So those people are thinking, hey, great, no more sidewalk, right? Now we're going to go put it back in? I mean, that was an oops, I think.
If I could add the context of that, meaning they wanted it to be removed because there was kids going down and playing in the coulee. I thought their kind of take was either put a connection, don't put it down to a coulee for them to mess in my backyard. So I hope that
Get
maybe
it.
presents
I
some
remember
context,
it, but I just am like, so does developer have to pay for the bridge then?
Yeah, who pays for that?
Big question for me. I mean, I'm trying to help it. I want to see something get built out there. I think it's going to be nice, however we look at it for the city. instead of a field.
Yeah, we could certainly have a
We're gonna
discussion
take
with
it on our
our,
tax roll, which everybody will love here.
we could certainly talk to our Public Works folks to see if there's alternative funding for something else as well.
You know, until we get, how can we leave it out until we get that figured? I know what
Right.
you're going after, and I actually agree with you this time. How can we keep this moving, but yet that piece needs to be figured out on a cost share or who's paying the design? Because you can get crazy with a bridge, and you can get crazy with all this. So how can we say, all right, we're good with, because I think Mr. Budke and everybody would be okay with it, Miss Sandy, if we said, okay, that piece, we need to get it moving so that we can see a design, get that going, and somehow put it in, but not make the developer responsible for all of it at this time. Am I wrong here?
Well, I think the
Trying to
other
work it
thing,
out.
the engine, somebody's gonna have to make sure that design isn't holding back water too. So, I mean,
Well,
I know I'm throwing a little bit of a, thing that's gonna throw a wrench in probably the engineers, not only, their engineer, but also
So-
our engineering group to say.
And you
we have
know I
to-
live by the water, so I'm thinking about this, that anytime you start talking about bridges, even
Yep.
as small over the coulee, you talk about affecting your whole system.
But what we're trying to do is just make that connection. That's the,
Aren't we here to approve a plat?
That's what I'm
Right.
thinking.
Yeah, but
So
This
if we
is
put a
part of
plat
that.
out there that gives them the easement, doesn't that, the logistics and
But we're
who
talking
pays for
about
what,
making them
and
put
everything
the
else?
sidewalk in, not, I think at this
I
point,
think the
I don't know
way
how
staff
you
wrote
do
this
it.
up shows an easement, and we can approve it that way, and then if legal and everyone else wants to get into the nuts and bolts of that
So-
at city council or whatever.
With that, I won't support this. Because again and again, how many times do we have people coming because it doesn't get put in because we don't make anyone do it?
I don't think we can
So-
control that, though. I don't think that's up to us, but maybe I'm wrong. I think we're here to approve a plat, and now it's drawn up on a sheet of paper.
Part of that approval, though, is also the access.
Right.
And so here we take from you want to know why people aren't developing in this town? We take land from them for a park. We take land from them for a retention pond. Now we want to take more land from them to put in a bridge so that 3 months out of the year, someone can walk over it when they don't want it and the neighbors behind it don't want it. If I'm going for a walk, I quite frankly don't care if I have to go a little further because that's why I'm walking. And if you think that having a path go over the coulee is going to change kids from playing, whose liability is it? Who's liable for those kids playing in the coulee in someone's backyard? Is it the city? Because that's then something else that we should look at, because it shouldn't be the homeowner who doesn't want this in their backyard. So if we're going to vote with that in it, then I'm going to take back my motion because I'm not going to support it.
Thank you, Miss Sandy. Good points, everybody. So,
Question, Steve?
yeah, please.
Looking at this other sidewalk easement on lot 7, could a sidewalk be put in there without a bridge? Or is it just the way the map looks? It doesn't look like there's water there.
you're on this one, Jordan?
Yes.
So that, at this point, like, since we don't have a match on the west side, I would be in favor of vacating probably between 6 and 7 if this went through as it's drawn up, just because there isn't a connection, and that would be, a sidewalk to nowhere.
I think,
Sidewalk.
to your question though, is it would still require a bridge because that area does flood, or it does rise. So we would still want something up and over.
So, yeah, not a cheaper option then.
Great point. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, but we're amending the motion.
Yeah, I'm going to hold my motion.
Withdraw. Okay? Do we have another motion? Do we have a
I'll make a motion to approve it without the bike path.
second on that?
I'll second.
And that would be with all the red tech changes from engineering, I think, that you saw on that,
It would
on the
be-
attachment.
It
The-
would be to remove that
This one.
bridge that we're talking about.
Yep. the planning comment.
Okay?
Question on that then, so as I'm reading the red, note 18 references show vacation information for bike path in Burkhold 6. Is that in reference to what we're talking about then?
That's in reference to the Bethesda
Okay,
vacation.
thank you.
Yeah, I think that 18 is up in this. Yeah, each of those, the way Brad does up those comments, so when you see a numbered like that, he'll actually put where on the plat they're located, which is helpful.
Yeah,
No.
it was just you were scrolling, so.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah. I tend to start.
Any more discussion on this?
I think this is a great project for Grand Forks. I hate to have it hung up over something like this, and I think this is going to go to council. They're going to have talk about it, so if that's where we're at, I'm going to support it as is, so.
Okay. All right, I'll call for a vote then. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Right, motion carries. 3-4.
Item 3-4, ordinance to amend the zoning map to rezone from A1 Agricultural Preservation District to Burkhold's 8th PUD located at 1800 block of South 42nd Street.
Mr. Brooks.
Thank you. I'll just point out again, here's the rezoning map as was said, the stormwater pond shows up here a little bit better. But B3 lot here, this is the multifamily unit, 30 units an acre, and then R2 up here, which is single family attached or detached could be allowed there as well. So not much more to say. The sanitary sewer analysis document will be attached to the PUD document in this case. So with that, I'll answer any other questions, and then this is a public hearing as well.
All right, any questions for Mr. Brooks on the zoning? Not seeing any, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody in the audience like to address 3-4, please do so at this time. Not seeing any, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission.
What's that? I think his recusal was on both items.
Yeah, that's where I started on both, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll lawyer it up for us. All right. All right, back to the commission.
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Mattson.
Second.
I'll give it to Ms. Rell. I think I heard her first. Second by Mr. Rell. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay, 3-4 passes. 3-5.
Item 3-5, replat of lots 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, Block 3, original town site, located at 500 block of North 5th Street.
Ms. Grasser.
All right, so we're downtown here. The current St. Michael's Elementary School is over here. They're looking to replat these lots here for their future development. Currently, they have an existing parking lot, which will stay, but they're just combining all of these lots for the potential future middle school that will be going on this corner. On the plat, we have put in access control here and here. We're keeping this 30 feet for their ingress and egress for their parking lot, which will remain. And staff is recommending approval. I'll stand for any questions.
All right, any questions for Ms. Grasser on this one?
Move approval.
Oh, I gotta have a public hearing. Thanks, though. Mr. Budke.
You mentioned the parking here. I think it's great that we're talking about an infill project in one of our near side neighborhoods. I always have a fear, though, when we're talking about institutions in like this neighborhood, that there might be more adjacent land gobbled up for parking, which I think would be a shame. So this is perhaps a little separate from the actual action in front of us, but I guess I'd just like to understand if there is any prospect for buying up and demolishing housing.
I don't believe so. They have, in their original sketch we've seen, they've been able to make it fit. And I think with our potential new parking changes, that keeping the existing parking lot will further help them keep that condensed. And they'd have to hop over the alley, so.
Right. Then I think it's great. Thank you.
Okay. With that, I will open the public hearing. Anybody in the audience would like to address 3-5, do so at this time. Not seeing anybody, I'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission. Moved by Mr. Budke,
Second.
second by Ms. Sandy. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 3-5 carries unanimously. 3-6,
Item 3.6, sign appeal for entry sign at Altru Health Systems located at 1200 South Columbia Road.
all right, Ms. Grasser.
All right, so this sign appeal is for Ultra Health Systems' new ground monument along their main entrance on 13th, 13th and Columbia. The code caps them at 8 by 18 feet in width, and they are proposing 9 feet in height, 31 feet in width on either side. We did review this signage as a complete package of Ultra Master Plan. It does seem a little large, but staff is recommending approval because it fits in with their total master plan fairly well. You can see it from the intersection, but it is fairly low to the ground. It is lit, but we don't feel like it would be distracting to the intersection. So staff is recommending approval. I'll stand for any questions.
Mr. Budke.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask the commission to be recused on this item.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Budke. Okay, Mr. Reichert.
This one intrigued me because it is quite large. But most of it I wouldn't even call a sign. I mean, it's sort of a wall, right? I mean, and having been on a couple of park or sign committees, I should probably know the answer to this, but how did you guys analyze or how do you think about it? Because, I mean, there's only just a third of it maybe is sign?
We count the whole structure, but we had that internal discussion that in terms of the actual sign itself, I mean, what the text, right, is there's a lot less there, but we do count the whole structure because some people, we have to evaluate the whole structure because
So
on
now if they wanted to
occasion,
come in and put they get it built, it's up there, and they want to come in and they want to put a video board from the green cross all the way to the end, do they have to come back before us?
yeah, that's going to be, we'd have to evaluate that a little bit differently, right? I mean,
Right.
it's, yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not opening up for them to use the rest of that, because this is great.
Right,
I have no
yeah.
problem with it, but, okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Quick question. As we scroll back a couple pages in there, are they closing the plan to close the street at 11th eventually? Is that going to
No.
be the only access into Altru?
They're planning on putting it at 13th because that is wide enough. They are treating that as their main entrance still into their parking lot. They're keeping the 11th. It's just, they want to still filter people over to the parking. So that's why they're placing it at 13th, is because that's technically their main entrance still.
Okay,
Does that
thanks.
answer your question?
And parking's going on top of the old hospital.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just
Yeah.
the way that the site plan looked there on one of the sheets. I wasn't sure.
Okay. All right, I will open the public hearing. Anybody in the audience like to come up and address 3-6, please do so at this time. Seeing no one,
Move approval.
I'll close the public hearing. Moved by
Second.
Mr. Reichert, moved by Ms. Sandy, second by Mr. Reichert.
I agree that with your comment, that it feels more like it's
A wall.
well, yeah, or part of the landscape, or it's very tasteful, and it's not just a big obnoxious sign, so I like it.
Okay. All right, with that, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously, 3-6. Communications and preliminary approvals. None.
Very quickly here. Yeah, we have one approved site plan. Prairie Supply is building a new building on that lot. Summing up parking, we met for the 6th time, September 10th, discussed some recommending changes to commercial industrial minimums, and then we'll have a follow-up meeting scheduled at the end of October to discuss public input and some definitions. Sign subcommittee, we have not met in a while. We're still looking at sign definitions that need to be added or need to be tweaked. And we will reschedule that when we have more of our definitions complete. And then the NPO updates are always linked. Any
All right.
questions?
You skipped ahead of me, but that's good.
Sorry.
That was our monthly report.
Yep.
All right, any other business?
To adjourn.
Move to adjourn, second? All those in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned, thank you.